April 17th special council meeting of Paccon Township to order. I would ask everyone to bow their heads for a moment of silence, please. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 by advertising a notice in the Star Gazette and the Express Times and by posting a copy on a bulletin board in the municipal building. Roll call, please.
Yes, Councilman Valcaro.
Here.
Councilman Polito.
Here.
Councilman Wright.
Here.
Council President Pryor.
Here.
Here. Need a motion to come out of executive session?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Folks, public comment on the agenda items only. Seeing none, we'll move into business. Number one is the 2019 municipal budget, public hearing and adoption of budget. Motion open up to the public?
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Folks, questions, comments? This is easy. Motion to close?
That's it? Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Kim, do you have anything to say for the record?
I want to say that the tax rate went up 2.4 cents. It equates to about $55 annually for the taxpayer, and that
That's on a $230,000 home, correct?
yes, and the municipal tax only makes up only about 19% of the total property tax. So I think that needs to be out there, because the school does take up the majority of that.
Yeah, you know, we get that question a lot, and it's probably worthwhile to get that in the record. This was the 2018 breakdown, I guess. 219 is about the same. And it's been this way for a while. School gets 55% of every tax dollar, county 25%, so that's 80. Municipal is 19, and then we have an open space, which is 1%. So it's 20% for us. We use the 1% for debt service for the park, if I recall, correct?
Yeah, debt service.
Have we heard anything from the school? Because I'm hearing some rumors that things are pretty good there also.
Yes, I was on the phone with the BA today. It looks like they're not, I don't want to say, I think they're adopting tomorrow.
Right.
But it looks like they'll be under 2 cents. They might even be in the plus. So,
Okay.
yeah. And I do also want to say that with John's help, any questions or review from the Division of Local Services, we were lucky to get in, and they blessed our budget, because they just sent out an email saying, oh, you might have your hearing, we
Right.
might not be able to get to your budget for review. So we're past that.
Yes.
Yes. So that's a good thing. So.
One more thing probably worth mentioning, Kim, is the surplus. You want to spend a minute on that? This is the best surplus that we've started a year with.
We anticipated 700,000 in this year's budget. With that, we have a little over $1 million in the fund balance, which is excellent.
And
Yes, very good.
we agreed with the rating agencies 2 years ago to kind of an informal covenant to maintain at least 10% in our surplus going into the year. People say, is that too much? It's really not. If we're having trouble with tax collections, right? 95% we anticipate this year. We collect taxes on behalf of the Board of Ed. If we don't collect them, we still have to send that over.
Yes.
We have cash flow problems just like a homeowner does. We have an expense now, but we don't get the tax revenues for a month. Still have to pay our bills. You need that.
Yeah.
That flow.
Right.
Yeah.
And right now in 2019, we're looking pretty good with our revenues.
Yeah.
So I'll be giving you reports at the end of the month, so with all the budget numbers in there, and you can see actually where we are with our revenues and their expenditures.
Do you have a number, just a total number, what's going to cost the taxpayer on the home based on $230,000 value? Including, I'm talking about the education, the county and local, and then 1% of the space.
It's, right now, and these are estimates for the county, even though we know the county went down.
Right.
And the school, I would say it's going to be, it says 6970 annually. I think that number's going to be even a little lower than
The
that.
school.
All inclusive.
Everybody.
All inclusive. Yep.
So the total dollar amount,
Mm-hmm.
the percentage, on a house based on 230,000, because you were saying it's going to cost about $58 a year, right? So let's add in the county and the school to that.
I said just now, our share was only like $56, but in total, it's probably about 69.70. But I said that number might probably go
So
lower.
$70 total.
Total.
Wow.
But keep in mind that the school tax and the
That-
county
that
tax.
includes-
Yeah, that's an
is
estimate.
at
It's
this
an
point.
estimate.
No, I understand, but the $70 includes the school
Yes.
Yes,
and the county.
yes, that's all inclusive.
So this is going to be probably the lowest.
Yeah, I
It's gonna be
think
the-
it's going to go lower, I think, just because the county
Conservatively.
is lowering their open space,
Right.
and in total, their overall budget went down.
So as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
in this town, it's been the lowest in how long?
In a while.
10 years?
$70 for the year
Wow,
10 years?
$70.
on the average home?
I
That-
mean,
That's,
and that's great for, the
that's less
services.
than $6 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's across the board. You don't usually get,
No.
we're in a period where the county's really cutting, so you're gonna receive a big benefit from the county.
Right.
What the school does tomorrow night, that's what the school, you have no control over it. But if they're coming down or they're gonna be close to flat, you're looking at, you could be looking at your piece is the only piece that could rise. And it could be, I'd say it could be anywhere between 50 and 70 when it's all said and done.
Right. I mean, those are good numbers considering,
Yes.
right, at least 10 years.
Yeah.
And considering that everything goes up.
Right, considering the cost goes
And
up.
all the things that you're doing in your budget, paying additional money down on debt, because you have that solar project that was almost 10 years ago that has to be paid in 2 years, you're putting more money into that. So for all the things that you've done in your budget between capital and debt, you're doing a lot, and your increase is really small. So
And
kudos
then-
to you guys.
This was the last year for the payout of the first tax appeals, the 217,000, that'll be paid off, and then we start paying on the new one that occurred in 2018.
Good Larkin.
Yep.
And you have a small appeal out there that you had to pay off, part of it off last year and part of it off this year. And because your fund balance is doing so well, you didn't even notice it.
Right.
So.
So based on $70,
You're doing really well.
what percentage would that be? Would that be about 3%, 3.3%? Because ours is 2.4. So if we do it percentage-wise, on the total $70, if ours is 2.3, 2.4 is $56.
Well, it's got to be 10% more, it would be,
Maybe just over 3%,
it probably roughly around 3%.
right?
Yep,
In total.
Right.
yeah.
Okay. This is good news for the taxpayers when, we come across, talking to people.
Oh, yeah.
You have the numbers in your head.
And you're doing stuff, you're doing the roads, they're seeing
Right.
stuff.
Right.
As
That's the
I'm
main
a
thing.
visual person, it's,
That's the main thing, people are visual, period.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're doing all these projects,
And we're
right?
not doing anything that doesn't need to be done. We're not showing off. We Baltimore Street, Red School Lane, Dana, Cromwell, it's,
and you have all these projects going on.
It's
that's
not gonna
increase
stop.
your rateables.
yep, yeah,
So that in itself is a great thing.
yeah.
And all the fees from all that too, isn't too bad either, that's the
Actually,
gravy.
1%. It's 1%.
It's 1%, so it's
Total
3.4,
tax bill.
so it's 3.4% total, equates to $70,
No, the tax rate that we're projecting conservatively
right?
is a 1% increase for all four pieces.
Oh,
All right,
Okay.
so county, school, your open space.
1%,
1% increase, or 1 cent increase.
1 cent increase, right,
Which is 1%, yeah.
okay.
So, yeah, nicely done.
Well, thanks to everyone here, all you guys, everyone here.
to adopt.
Well,
Punch-
the first thing I have to do that's required by law is I have to read the resolution. So, that being said, be it resolved by the governing body of the Township of Lackawanna, County of Warren, that the budget herein before set forth is hereby adopted and shall constitute an appropriation for the purposes stated of the sums therein set forth as appropriations and authorization of the amount of $5,322,693.01 for municipal purposes, $272,367.27 for open space, recreation, farmland, historic preservation trust, fund levy. Surplus anticipated is $700,000. Miscellaneous revenues anticipated is $2,150,056.61. Receipts from delinquent taxes is $850,000. So again, the amount to be raised by taxes is $5,322,693.01. Total revenues are $9,022,749.62. Now you may go ahead.
Motion to adopt?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, and I will roll call that. Councilman Del Caro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Lee?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Madici?
Yes. Before we move on to the consent agenda, I want to tell you ladies, all of you that work in here, that I think you've done a stellar job in surviving the storm that we went through last year. You know, we are absentee bosses up here, and I know it wasn't easy. So kudos to you guys. John, same thing with this crew. I sat in that back row and they were looking to get rid of everybody. So I think pretty much we've, you know, Joe and Lou have been up here a while. So I think we've survived the storm. We've steadied the ship. And quite frankly, I'm very proud of what's being done up here. So as the so-called quarterback of the team, I've said many times that we go nowhere without our line. You guys are the line, these guys are my line up here. So it's a great time for me to be mayor of this township. And I'm very proud of all of us for surviving the storm. And so that's it. I think,
Well, we thank you right back.
Right.
yeah, I think,
We got a great team. I
Yeah.
feel that we do. We support each other, and some days, you know, somebody's off or not off, and
yeah, well, you're
we
going to
have some laughs too.
You're gonna, well, I'm going to tell you something. I've had two major jobs in the last 40 years, one for 22 and one now for 18, and I've laughed heartily at both of them. And I think that's important. Obviously, when the chips are down, we need to get going. So, anyway, thank you very much. The consent agenda. Does anybody have anything they want pulled out of there?
Can I get one thing?
No.
Before I leave? First of all, thank you very much.
Yeah.
It was very nice of you to compliment. One of the things that we're finding with the state review of the budgets is that there's a document that we have to put our financial into. It's unaudited, but now the state is making everybody put it into a state form on a state website that has a lot of issues. It's called FAST.
Yeah, Kim's
Okay.
talked about it.
The state is not going to allow you to certify your tax rate. They're not going to certify it unless all issues are 100% complete and correct. Normally that's not an issue because we go in and fix everything. But there are problems within this system that are the state's fault. And they still won't allow you, they won't certify your rate until it's fixed. And there's nothing that Kim can do, there's nothing that I can do. It's a programming problem that they have down at the state, and until they fix it, we don't know what can be done. So my goal is to stay on top of every municipality that I have that's going through this system. Your neighbor Harmony has a $100 issue. $100 even is wrong in their report, and it's all internal. They will not allow Harmony, they will not certify Harmony's tax rate over $100. I want to see the state pull something like that with Newark, with Camden, with Passaic or Patterson. I don't know how they're...
It never happened.
I'm bringing it to everybody's attention so that everybody is aware of this and there's no secrets. I think it's going to be a big fight with Trenton. We've been fighting it for over a year now. Now that the CFOs have to put this information into the system, they're realizing what a pain in the butt it is and how it's wrong. So they're on our side now, and now I'm just bringing it to everybody else's attention that you could potentially have a problem that is no fault of anybody in this room. So we will keep you abreast of what's going on. And we will do our best to make sure that yours is perfect and it can be certified by the state.
I have no doubt that you will do that, so,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
you can do the same, thanks.
Take care.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, guys.
The consent agenda, do we know who these two people are? The sewer account and the tax account? The only reason I ask is I have a couple people that have been badgering me, and I want to make sure before I check with Danielle that it's not one of the people that I'm thinking of.
All right, well, here's my number. Well, I didn't bring it with me.
Okay, we can pass it. Could you just email me or text me tomorrow morning so who it was? Anybody want anything pulled from the consent agenda?
Well, one is the 308 Brakely Avenue. That is,
At the sewer?
it is the sewer account, yeah.
Okay.
The other one is a tax account, and I don't have that.
Okay. If you can find it out for me tomorrow, I'd appreciate it. All right, we need a motion on the consent agenda.
Motion.
Have a second?
Roll call that. Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Council President Fire?
Yes?
Chairman Lucci?
Yes. Folks, John?
Yes, something you guys probably already answered, but I didn't understand it. In the levy, all right, the tax levy this year, the taxpayers of Lopakon, as an aggregate group of people, will have to pay. Is that 5 million just the municipal portion of the tax, and the 9 million, is that, I don't know, didn't quite get where that 9 million was. Like, what will the aggregate of municipal tax, school tax,
What's the total budget for the township? Is that what you're looking for?
that's correct.
Do we have any idea what that is, Kim? The total budget?
The whole total budget?
For the school and the,
No, I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know that.
Okay, will you know whatever?
Yes, I will know it once they adopt and everything.
Okay,
I mean, this
Okay.
is just amount to be raised.
okay.
Because I know the county had adopted, I think I can get that online.
Yes,
So
Okay.
I could probably get that figure for you.
all right.
think a few
I
years
would like
ago-
to ask you that question.
A few years ago, the total budget was at 24 million.
Yeah, I know it was, that's what, I want to get
I
like
want to another million in there to be safe.
For school.
the total for
local,
school, local,
And for
open
county.
space and county,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, okay, all right, thank you very much.
all right?
Thanks, Jim, for giving me the opportunity, Joe.
No problem.
Council, okay, thanks. Lou,
Good night.
Jim.
Anyone else? Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.